So do something nice and don't tell anybody about it. Or if there's something you believe in, talk about it, because it's going to help somebody else. You know, something funny happened the other day. I was at, I talk about Tesla a lot. I was at a charging station, and the gentleman beside me was charging his vehicle, and he had the brand new Model Y. And I'm checking out this car. It's beautiful. I drive a Model 3, and I think I'm going to get a Model Y, either a Model Y or a Cybertruck. I'm not sure which, but anyway, he asked me about floor mats, because Teslas don't come with floor mats, which is nice. By the way, if you're just tuning in, please like, subscribe, and share the video. And if you wouldn't mind, kindly comment below. Anyway, so this gentleman was asking me about floor mats. Teslas don't come with floor mats because Tesla encourage an aftermarket industry. There are tons and tons of companies who sell Tesla floor mats, Tesla gadgets, Tesla gizmos, Tesla window shades, like you name it. They're out there. They're all out there. And they're all great. But this gentleman said to me, what do you think? And I said, Joa. Anyway, and I'm not sponsored by Joa, by the way. They don't, it's not that. So I have these Joa, I'll put a picture up. I have these Joa floor mats. They look like trays. They're very sturdy, and they really protect the car. They protect the floor. And Joa make other products as well. And again, I'm not sponsored by Joa, but I'm on X a lot, and I like to share, positive things. And there's a big Tesla community on there that I'm friends with, and I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, I put a post up, and I said, I think I might have sold a set of Joa floor mats to a gentleman beside me, to my neighbor. I refer to him as to my neighbor at the supercharging station today. And then, I tagged Joa in it, obviously, because I believe if somebody does something good, you should tell them, right? Like, they make a good product. I want to tell them their product is good, and I want to tell them that I endorse the product, that I think people should own it. I think that's a good thing to do. It's like going to a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, you get a good meal, you get good service. You should tell people about it. You can do that on Yelp. You can do that wherever. Sadly, many people just tell you the bad, and I just don't want to be that person. But I would be that person. If Joa were bad, I would tell you honestly. But anyway, I digress. So I said that to Joa, and then Joa responded, an hour or 2 hours later, and they said, I thought it was poignant what they said. I thought it was beautiful the way they said it, and it was so honest that it really impressed me. And it said something like, we really appreciate you being a non-paid salesman. And I thought, what a purely honest thank you. Like, you're not getting paid for this, dude, but thanks. Like, I thought that was really nice. And I just think it made me feel good. When you do nice things for people and they appreciate it, it's kind of selfish on your behalf, because sometimes you get more joy out of your kindness than they actually do about receiving a gift. You know how you give somebody a gift and they smile and they're all happy, but then what you feel, I do feel like this, what you feel is kind of more selfish. You're like, oh, that was cool. I like that. You enjoy that. And that's great. That's great if you're doing nice things. You know, and again, one of my faults is I've been too nice in many cases. And I have that personality where I feel sometimes like if somebody rubs me the wrong way, or if somebody is just not receptive to me, I tend to be overly nice in the hope that I'll, you know, and somehow not make them like me, but somehow it's nice to be friendly with people. It's nice to be liked. And I've often taken the stance that sometimes if somebody doesn't like you or if they don't trust you, it's because somebody has been bad to them in the past, or has been nasty, or has stolen from them, or whatever. And then I take the stance of, well, I'm going to prove to them that there are good people in the world, and you know, you don't have to be fearful of being kind. And I'm looking at them thinking, okay, this is your chance now. I'm a good guy, and you know, you don't have to be fearful anymore. But the really down bad side of that is there are people who will take advantage of that. And, you know, narcissists in particular, a narcissist sees kindness as weakness. And they are the ones who will respond to you very favorably and build you up and say, oh, what a nice guy and what a good person. And they'll start introducing you to all these people until they get what they want from you. And then they will begin to drag you down. And that's happened to me. And that's not a fun place to be. So be nice, be kind, share good news, share, if you have products you like, share them with people. But be careful who you trust. It's sad that you have to say that, but I only know this because it's happened to me. And anyway, in the last few years, my next point is, in the last few years that happened to me, and I kind of went inward. I was very hurt by something that happened. Anyway, I won't get into that, but I started to, sometimes you need to step back from your life, from certain friendships, certain people, and you need to move in different directions. You know, it's good to learn new things. So I started, Elon Musk had just bought X, and I'm like, I like Elon Musk, I like Tesla, I'm going to go on X, and I'm going to start following people on X. And then I really got deep into the whole Tesla thing. You know, I've been investing in Tesla since 2019. I became fascinated with the company long before that. And anyway, when I went on X, I started to find these people on X who were, some of them were Tesla influencers, and you know, some of them were financial analysts, and of course I zeroed in on them because I'm an investor. But I started to see these posts about charge events. And Tesla owners, like there's Tesla owners clubs everywhere in America, right? Every state has a Tesla owners club. Some have multiples. You'll have cities that have Tesla owners club, for instance. And anyway, I started following some of these, and one popped up that was coming up in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I said, you know, I want to go check this out. And I started to watch, and I started to follow the people who were involved in the organizing of that, and the people who promote these type of events. And I'll just mention a couple. First of all, there's a guy he was actually a speaker at that Chattanooga Charge event. His name is Joe Techmeyer. He's down in Texas, and he does daily drone videos of Giga Texas, which is the Tesla factory in Texas. These are extremely informative videos, and Joe Joe is originally an Air Force guy, knows an enormous amount about obviously SpaceX and everything else, but he's also has great knowledge of construction. And obviously, as you know, Giga Texas is a construction project in progress, constantly evolving. And he does these great videos. Anyway, Joe was one of the speakers at this Tesla Charge event. And then there's another guy I follow called Brian White, Future Ozza. He's got a channel, a YouTube channel, and he does Tesla stuff as well. And then there's two guys. There's Tesla Tino, who and Bearded Tesla guy. And you need to follow these guys. These are really cool people. Those guys took a Cybertruck trip up through the Arctic and all the way up to Canada. Just really cool people. Follow them. Diana, who is 99 Colorado, or I'll put it up, or Colorado 99. I never remember her handle, but she was one of the organizers of the Chattanooga Charge event. And who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting about Josh Wise. I'll put his name up here as well. He's another guy who does. Then there's Dylan Loomis is another guy. He wasn't at the event, but he's also a Tesla advocate. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this all up, I started following these guys, and when they would send something really good, like good content or a good story, I would share it. And then all of a sudden I started to get into this, and I started thinking, you know, this stuff has great value. I see great value in this. I'm an older guy. This is a whole other generation, a whole other way of doing business. And anyway, I started realizing this is really good information. Well, it turns out that on X, you can sponsor, you know, you subscribe. Like, you subscribe to my channel, it's free, right? But X, you can subscribe to these guys, and there's varying fees. Like, it's $1 a month. I think the highest one I sponsor is $5 a month, but it's really worthwhile. And to me, it's like a little hobby. Some guys play golf, you know, some guys buy old cars or whatever. You know, you do what you do. You have hobbies. So my hobby is kind of being on X. Anyway, because of that, I started to get to know these guys and girls. And I would share their information, and then they would respond. And then I developed this whole new network of people who I really, really like. And then anyway, when I went to chat, and they don't have a clue who I am, and it doesn't matter. That's not what this is about. I went to the Chattanooga Charge event, and I met these guys, you know, very briefly, hi, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, who is that guy? And by the way, they're, in some ways, these guys are celebrities. I've never been a celebrity guy. I don't think I've ever in my life asked somebody for an autograph. I wouldn't be that guy. We don't do that in Ireland. One of the reasons celebrities love to go to Ireland is nobody cares. Like, my local pub in Ireland, one night, Mick Jagger walked in, and, you know, there's a bunch of guys sitting at the bar, and he walks in, and it's like every bar, you know, you walk into, all the regulars look at the door, and, you know, Mick and his buddy walked in, Ronnie Wood, another guy in the band, obviously, but they walked into the bar. It's like a Monday night, and, you know, the Irish guys turn around, they're like, oh, how you, Mick? How's it going? You know, and I'm like that. I don't, but anyway, these Tesla guys, they're, you know, they're kind of celebrities. So I'm very aware. I toured with a very famous Irish band called the Wolf Tones years ago when I was a kid. And I became very aware of the needs of people who are celebrities. And the one thing they need is to know that you respect them and you don't want anything from them, if that makes sense. So, when I went to the Chattanooga Charge event, I met some of these guys and I was like, hi, your content is great. And then, fast forward, I went back and we started talking. Then I got invited into a group chat with all these people in it. Somehow they tagged me. And you know how that happens is somebody says to somebody else, hey, remember that guy, that, Truth guy? And he seemed like a nice guy. And somebody else goes, yeah, I met him. And, he bought a t-shirt and a hat. And yeah, he's a good guy. He did, whatever. This is how it happens, just so you know. So anyway, I shouldn't say I'm friends with these people now, but I support them. And just like Joa, the reason I found Joa was I was listening to a podcast with Omar, who's an extremely talented guy. He does testing for Tesla in California. And I believe he's a software engineer, or I'm not sure what he is, but he's really smart. Omar has a Spaces, on X. There's these discussion groups, Spaces, which is another great thing about X. You can sign up for X now and start your own Spaces and start having a conversation about things you want to talk about or things you have knowledge on. But anyway, Joa was a sponsor of his Spaces thing, and I thought that was really cool. And I don't think these sponsorships amount to a lot of money, but I respected them for sponsoring his thing. So when I bought the Model 3, who am I going to buy my floor mats from? Well, it's pretty obvious. And I don't buy them just because they're good guys. I buy them because they're of great quality. So if there's something you like and something you enjoy doing, put your business mind. I have a problem. I have a business mind. And I think of things in business terms. And I'm trying to get rid of that out of my head. So my whole X thing, my whole Tesla thing, outside of the fact that I'm an investor, and yeah, I see that as a business, but I also see my Tesla interest as a deep, deep hobby that I really, really enjoy. And anyway, I think it's very important that you do something nice for people. It could be I'm talking about Tesla, rambling on about Tesla, but it could be anything you love to do, or a product that you love. It could be a local store that you love. Tell your friends about it. It could be anything. It could be, obviously, person who cuts your hair, person who washes your car, person who cleans your house, whatever it is. Word of mouth is still the greatest form of advertising. And there's no better compliment to give somebody than to send them a customer and not get anything in return. It's very gratifying for you and for them. Anyway, I hope this video made sense. I made it because getting involved in the Tesla community has opened up a whole new life for me and a whole new hobby for me. And also because of what I went through in my life, it really was a form, or is, I should say, a form of therapy. So it helped me a lot. It helped me mentally tremendously. So I hope you'll go out there. I hope you'll find something that you love to do. And that's also the reason I started this YouTube channel. I started this YouTube channel, it's all over the place. I talk about different things every day, but, I got sober. I was losing weight. The original name for this channel was Truth to a T, and I used to talk about walking 5 miles a day, 5 days a week, because I was losing weight, and I have lost weight. I've lost 80 pounds, and I have to do a video on that because there's something going on with that too. But anyway, I just think it's very important. Now, in the comments below, I want you to tell me about a product or a thing or a person or a YouTuber or somebody that you really, really like. Tell me about that person or that thing or that item or that subject, because I'm always looking for something new. And maybe there's something that you will tell me that I can say, oh yeah, I like that. I've always wanted to do that. Or I've always wanted to buy one of those and I never knew which one to buy or whatever. And I promise you, I read all the comments. And if you put that down in the comments, you may be doing a big favor for somebody else. You never know, because let's face it, we are all connected. And if you like X, if you're on X, look into this subscription thing. If you see somebody you like and they're doing stuff you like, click on their subscriber thing and see how much they charge. It might be $1, it might be $2, $5 a month. You know, some of the real top guys, they get big bucks. I'm not sponsoring them. That's not what this is about. But I sponsor a lot of people on X, and I have to add it up. I think I'm sponsoring right now maybe 27 or 28 people. And, you know, what's that costing me? Probably under $100 a month. You know, in my lifetime, I've spent $100 a month on things that didn't teach me crap. So I see no downside to me subscribing to a few really good people. And these people are not rich, by the way. Most of these people are influencers, creators. Many of them don't have these huge, big, you know, over $100,000 or 100,000 followers. They're not making some enormous amount of money on X, obviously, or on YouTube. They're making a living, I'm sure. And I don't know what they make. I know I'll never make anything on YouTube because my channel will never get that big. But I don't know. I feel like I'm helping the little guy. Does that make sense? It's nice to help the little guy. And also these companies like Jowa that I'm talking about, the floor mats. Jowa is not a big company. They're just starting out. I mean, Tesla is a relatively young brand as far as volume. And who knows, maybe some of these companies will get huge, and then just like everybody else, we'll hate them, just like they hate Bezos or they hate Elon Musk. They forget, of course, that Bezos and Elon Musk started with nothing. We should never forget that, especially in the United States. Anyway, that's another video for another time. Anyway, I'm just rambling on here. I hope you liked the video, and I hope it gave you something. Thanks for watching.